If you want to view paradise, simply look around and view it. Anything you want to do it for only £35, there's nothing to it. Ladies, gentlemen, and variations thereupon, this is Modern Escapism. Hello and welcome to the show. My name is Oodles. Wonka, the pleasures of the flesh await you, dear listeners. Join me. Joining me today, Oompa Loompa Doobity-Doo. He's got another puzzle for you. It's Stig.
Actually, I am Stig Muad'Dib from now on.
Okay. What do you get when you shuffle down sweets? Eating as much as an elephant eats. It's Biggie.
Fuck off.
I was really worried you were going to me for that.
I thought it was coming from me. I was scared for all of us.
Snozzberries? Who's ever heard of a snozzberry? It's Candy.
I really hate Charlie in the Chocolate Factory. It scared the absolute crap out of me. Wonka away.
And finally, there's no way of knowing which way this man is going. Is he punching? Is he throwing? Is he kneading out or blowing a dude? It's Gadget!
You've basically summed up my early 30s there.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Wonka Experience.
Post-divorce, pre-Pip era. It was chaotic.
The wild years.
How are you all doing, my little Oompa Loompas?
It was alright until you started that off.
No, I'm good. I'm in a surprisingly good mood for a Sunday.
Oh, no, tell me about it. Been to church, mate?
No, I sizzle when I go near them. I know no one needs the smell of pork scratchings coming from the back of their worshipping.
Oh, I don't know. Candy, you been up to this week? Anything nice?
Pretty standard, bang average week, really. It's been alright. It's been alright.
Every week.
I have quite a dull.
Get some excitement.
I have a dull life until Sunday evenings. This is all the excitement I have.
Poor you.
Stig, sounds like you've had a riot of a week.
I had a good weekend. It's right before this podcasting. Kids suck. Don't have kids.
Yeah, there's already too many people on the earth. Biggie, come on. Have you had a good weekend?
No, I'm the same. I can't wait for my post-pod tug after we record tonight. That's about it, mate.
Wow.
You've got a post-pod tug.
Really? You've got a wife.
Just sleep at that point.
Yeah. There's time for it.
No, because I've been eating crisps all podcast. So if I go straight in on the old diddle, I could.
No, stop it.
You know.
And on that bombshell, it's time for Biggie's breaking news.
You may already know, but he doesn't, because it's time for Biggie's breaking news.
No, you're not. If
I got
listen
patrons
to
in the living room getting it on, and they ain't leaving till 6 in the morning. So what you gonna do? Shit, I got a pocket full of revels and my homeboys do too. Turn off the lights and close the doors. But what? We don't love M&Ms. So we gonna smoke an ounce to this. G's up, eyes down while you motherfuckers munch to this. Rolling down the street, smoking indo, sipping on gin with the news. Laid back with my mind on my words and my words on my mind. Rolling down the street, smoking indo, sipping on gin with the news. Laid back with my mind on my words and my words on my mind.
Yeah, it's a musical episode, this episode, isn't it?
Seems to be.
Yeah, sorry. I was saying after you said sorry, listener, because Boogie seemed to just stop. So I thought, I'll quickly get in there.
You were collaborating and listening.
Yeah, it was clearly waiting for the intro of that song, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He was, yeah.
You're not sorry, and if anyone's listened to last week's Easter egg, you'll know why.
I'm sure it's a humdinger. Humdinger. But yes, Piggy, that was lovely. It was vicious. It was vile. It was up there. It was top G. I don't know what you R&B fans say about things. It was bare good. Is that right?
Bare good.
Reet good that was. Reet good.
Proper bow.
Moving on.
It were a proper job.
There's been lots of layoffs this week again. I'm not going to go into it because we've probably all heard enough of it. But GTA 6 developers have been blasted Rockstar's reckless decision to return to office full time. Employees at Rockstar have been told to return to the office 5 days a week now that GTA 6 is entering the final stretch of development. Studio management cited security and productivity reasons for this up-and-coming change, which should come into effect in April. Since this announcement, the Independent Workers Union of Great Britain has blasted Rockstar for its plans to withdraw remote working provisions for the majority of its staff, noting the studio said any exceptions to the rule will be rare. And there was a petition signed by 170 Rockstar Games workers last year opposing mandatory 3-day office work. So I guess in a nutshell, ever since the pandemic, people, I guess, have had to work from home, and then a lot of these sort of working flexibility agreements have kind of been in place still. But that does seem pretty harsh what they're up to.
I think it's probably also that there was all the thing during the pandemic around Last of Us Part 2 with like how crunch culture came to light and came to the forefront of everything. And I'm pretty sure at the time Rockstar said something about that they don't want to do crunch for their future.
You can't
games
make people crunch
like
at home though, can you? Bring them into the office for Mario time.
Well, you say that. I think I'd be more
exactly,
inclined to crunch at home.
No, you wouldn't.
I would. No, I would. If you had to,
You'd crunch Netflix and some like mini cheddars.
Yeah, but you can crunch Netflix and mini cheds whilst you're doing a bit of coding. You can't do that in the office. Like I would feel I would feel less tired if I was crunching and then didn't have to do an hour's drive to or from work.
I'm kind of, I'm not opposed to it or anything like that, but as a man that does work 5 days a week outside my home, I am better out of it. I've never worked from home and I know I could probably never do it. I think having the choice is better. Not being forced is horrendous anyway in any workforce. You can't force anyone to do anything. No one's a slave. But I don't know. I think productivity is a good way to get them back in. Like, let's see what you've actually been doing. You know what I mean? Let's have a look.
I think it also depends on how Rockstar approach this with the staff. I mean, obviously, the staff aren't happy about it, but if Rockstar keep kind of pushing and not listening to the staff, very good chance the staff will just go on strike.
I can absolutely guarantee, and it's probably a solid, strong workforce, there'll be one loose chain, one link in that chain. Someone will have not done fuck all for months. Because that's what happens.
I know someone that works there and doesn't seem too concerned.
Yeah, there you go.
He said at least our jobs are secure at the moment.
Well, yeah.
You can't look a gift horse in the mouth. If they're wanting you to come to work, it's better than them saying you can't come to work anymore.
I like having a mixture. We do 3 in the office, 2 at home, and it's nice to have a mixture. Sometimes it really is just easier to be able to just turn around and ask someone a question than try and get them on Teams or wait for an email or try and get them on a phone call. Is that how it works then?
If you need to speak to somebody, you have to call them up, and do their Teams accounts always have to be active or something like that?
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much.
Tell the people's online as well.
I'd spend more time trying to look like I'm working than actually working, I know.
I'd much prefer remote work. I've worked remotely since the pandemic, and I have no plans to ever go back to an office.
I get it, mate. I get it. And I suppose if I'd got used to it, I'd be exactly the same. But it's what you're used to, innit? I like the aspect of my job where I'm speaking to different people every day. I sell things. You know what I mean?
What I realised during the pandemic is that I generally hate my colleagues, and so it's great not to have to see them.
I don't like my colleagues.
We're your colleagues.
Hey, lovely. I know, and I hate you lot.
I knew it.
Although interesting, going back to Candy's point, it says here, another employee said there'd been no consultation from management prior to the change. Again, they cited concerns that staff will soon be expected to work late hours in the office to maintain contact with global teams. Previously, staff have been able to log into meetings held outside normal working hours remotely if required.
Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah, a little bit shit, that. But Candy, could you work from home? Could you get people to come to you instead of firing a chair?
It would have to be properly registered with council. You'd have to have like a separate room and separate.
Don't tell them.
No.
Don't fucking tell them.
No, I don't want strangers in. I don't want strangers in my house. Like maybe if I had a house with like an outbuilding or
Yeah,
something,
you do.
that'd be all right. But no, I don't want the amount of pervs that get in my work. I don't want them knowing where I live.
Plus, you'll just get sued immediately with like infections as Panda just walks past and graces everyone with his fur.
His magic dust. Exactly.
I know a lot of mobile hairdressers, and it's like that makes more sense than actually hiring a chair. You know what I mean? But hairdressers are a lot less sanitary involved in that because obviously a tattoo is a procedure, isn't it?
I wouldn't be able to go to them. They would have to come to me. Like it has to be in a sterile environment.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't want to anyway.
No. Cool. We've just broken down the working life of Britain. Next.
I like this one. PS Portal is proving more popular than Sony expected because they don't know what to do with any of their stuff, do they? A PlayStation executive has revealed in a new interview with GameFile that the handheld PS Portal device is proving a lot more popular than they were expected. Hiromi Wakai, the VP of Production Management, explained, demand has continued to exceed our expectations, and so Sony is now focusing its efforts on shipping more units consistently. I've heard good things about this Portal, actually.
If it's as good as the PS Vita remote play was, because that was nigh on flawless, you can't knock it. It's a bit pricey for me to have to get one, but I'd like one. If anyone's listening and they want to give me one, I'd like one. I'll review it, and I won't return it.
Of course you won't return it, because you can play your PlayStation in bed.
Oh, in the bath.
And not have to look at your PlayStation.
No one's going to want it back after it's been in your bed.
No, they're not. No, they're not. I've heard people hacking them and stuff now as well, aren't they?
I think someone got Android onto it.
Someone got Android on it. Lovely, 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 jubbly. Next.
EA, Square Enix have stumbled into the leap year. Fans of EA Sports WRC could not boot up the game on the 29th due to a time zone issue, which was quickly rectified, but required players to set their system settings forward a day to function.
Fucking idiots.
Square Enix had similar issues that seem to be affecting players on the Switch as opposed to the PlayStation.
Yeah. Again, Millennium Bug. You remember when you informed me about that gadget? That was to do with time, wasn't it? And time.
That was due to everyone building like business applications where the date was 2 digits.
Yes.
So that a computer wouldn't know what to do with 00 because it would think it was 1900.
What do I do? I don't exist.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Millennium Bug wasn't really a thing because businesses it was businesses that would have been affected. And they fixed it quickly when people.
I'm sure they would have done.
It was used as a marketing tool to sell like fucking software to.
Can you imagine waking up that morning and being a big EA exec and going, "I thought you were 1st of March today." Fuck!
I was just going to say, I don't know anything about programming, but is that something so easily to miss? The fact that the 29th.
It's only every 4 years, isn't it? That you have to think about it.
It's It just depends on how you define the date. Like when you're doing code, there are kind of set standard ways to define a date, and most people will use them. But if you've got some weird back-end software that you need to kind of write a little bit of custom code to define where the date is, sometimes that can get a little bit fucky because you tend not to consider what happens every 4 years in February. Yeah,
it's not something that I wouldn't think about it.
Most people tend to use epoch time, which is I talked about it a few weeks ago. It's where you count the seconds from the 1st of January 1970, and then you have a bit of code that then
and it's super standardized, isn't it?
Yeah, that's standardized around the world. But so then you use the like a little bit of code to translate that into a date you can read.
That's
the best way to do it.
If it makes EA feel better, I'm salaried, so I didn't get paid for working that day at all. So, and I still did. Yay!
And you're bitter about it.
Full day, unpaid, salary, yay. Next.
Remedy Entertainment have managed to get the full rights back for Control franchise from 505 Games. It means that all future Control products will revert back to Remedy.
Yeah, that's what I like to hear.
It's what they did with Alan Wake, and it's what I think they're trying to do with Rockstar with Max Payne. I'm very happy about this, and also it's just that tacit confirmation that Control 2 is in development as well.
I think that's all, but it's all but confirmed, isn't it? It has to be.
It's like the rumors in the background.
One of the weirdest games I've ever played, but so good, really good.
I mean, it was a very weird game, but like I think that's what Remedy are really fucking good at. Like none of their games have been normal.
No, never. No.
Like you maybe say Max Payne 2 might be the most normal game they've ever done because that was the most mainstream.
There's bosses in that where you're fighting angels because you're high.
That's true, yeah.
It's not that normal. Next.
Candy dropped this one in. This is brilliant. Game Scent is a new AI device that lets you smell game worlds whilst playing.
Fuck off.
It's a new product that uses AI to release a scent that...
What were you doing a joke there?
I don't know why it came out that way. That's why I was laughing.
Vape take then.
Wait,
to release a
Sounds
scent
like that robot from Power Rangers.
At least you understood me. It is to release a sense that correlates to the gameplay on your display. In a press release, the company says it's a patent-pending adapter allows the device to use real-time audio cues to dispense a scent, like the smell of rain during a storm or gunfire in a first-person shooter that corresponds with the game you're playing.
What about the smell of burning bodies because of napalm?
I was going to say, like, is it going to be like, oh, you're going to play like a World War II game, and it's just going to be the smell of burning bodies, mud, gunpowder, blood. It's like, who wants
what the fuck?
Who wants that?
The tears of young boys, barely old enough to lift a rifle.
just looked at the website. The sense that they've got, or that you'll be able to buy when this thing comes out: gunfire, explosion, forest, clean air, storm, racing cars, ocean, sports arena, fresh cut grass, and blood.
So
the unannounced Bukaki pack for hentai games is yet to be announced.
Sports arena is just sweat then.
Yeah, BO and farts.
Sweat.
Every time I've been to a sports event of any caliber,
it's an unpleasant smell.
So somebody comes into your room and it stinks, and everyone's going to think it's you. Yeah, pass. Unless you
they should have a scent called Teenage Boy.
Unless you can get me a scent to play some like Overcooked, where it's just food.
Yeah,
the smell of food.
Yeah.
Like, no.
Racing cars sounds particularly awful. It's an invigorating blend of rubber, fuel, and asphalt.
That does sound nice. I like those smells.
Yummy.
I want to buy it.
It's available on Amazon, Best Buy, Walmart, and GameStop. With
How
the
much?
Product currently on sale for $150.
Right.
Fuck
Amazon.
Candy don't.
Look at her. I do.
Candy.
Candy, just get a Glade plug
RGB
in.
lights.
Get a Glade plug in and change the things when you're playing the game.
Listen, my wife sells Scentsy stuff on the side.
Yeah.
If you want a plug in and some wax, just do that.
Yeah.
Just change the wax
Make
up
your
every
own.
time you play a game.
Yeah, they don't have to get up. It's hard to find those candles in TK Maxx though, isn't it? Like blood smell.
It's really not encouraging when you go on the website and it's got that, immerse yourself in the game. And it's got like clips from games in the background. The first one that comes up is fucking Senua's Sacrifice. That's not going to be a nice smelling game.
Smell of hell.
The sweet smell of PTSD.
This is fucking bullshit.
Let's move on. It's stupid. Next.
Well, to continue with madness, Discworld tabletop RPG is in the works by a studio behind the Fallout War games.
I'm so excited for this.
This will be coming to Kickstarter, I believe.
And I will be there day one, and I will spend a lot of money on it.
So when you get it, though, is Pip going to play it with you? That's the thing. That's the problem with board games. You have to have friends.
No. TTRPG, D&D.
You said board game.
No, it's made, but it's behind the people who made the Fallout War games, which is a.
I'm lost.
Okay.
Yeah, shit.
All you need to
stick.
Actually, it's made by Modifius, who they do the Fallout role playing game.
Is this stuff you can play over Zoom?
Yes, like we
right.
do.
But wait, when you say TT, I thought that was tabletop.
Well, that's just what you refer to the style of game as.
Isn't it?
Oh, so it's virtual tabletop.
Well, yeah, we can do that. Like D&D is a TTRPG. Fucking hell, so many acronyms.
I hate it.
You get to play in Discworld. You go to Ankh-Morpork, and I can make you do funny shit.
Oh, I'm banging to that idea.
Well, that's our mid-season.
Yeah, so he won't be ready by then.
No, but it will work for a mid-season one at some point. And I think I'm going to get Biggie to play the luggage.
Definitely.
I feel like he could be a silent catty bastard with 30 legs. I feel like that's right. That's him down to a T.
That's him anyway. Yeah,
Wow.
that sounds good then. If you you don't have to actually interact with real humans around a coffee table, there's nothing wrong with that. Then.
That's obviously the intention of it, like to play like D, like we would play D&D in person. But yes, we will be doing this on the Scorched feed when this comes out.
Do you know what I was thinking about over day actually on D&D? I was thinking about infiltrating a D&D group and just being my usual self playing it and see how long it takes to get kicked.
I mean, that's what you've been doing with Treble, and we've kept you going for 2 and a bit years.
Content is king.
What was it,
They
that
don't believe in
first fight we had in Scorched Sheep, and you went, yeah, I'm just going to go and hide around the corner.
Actually, your character can't do that. That is not his... That's what they'd be like. And I'd be like, fuck you, nerds. And I'd be like, I'd do a backflip out of there, sticking fucking fingers up. And
You
smoking.
could do a backflip.
I can't. Smoking and drinking beer. And then kissing a woman.
Yeah. He would describe that, and then someone would have video footage of it, and it'd be like that scene out of Wolf of Wall Street.
I just trip up. Oh, yeah, like...
Do a backwards roly-poly, but a terrible one into a table. Whack his elbow off the corner of the table.
Yeah, yeah.
Drag himself out with his one good arm.
Just dragon soup all over himself.
That's exactly what would happen. And I appreciate if you don't follow me into this infiltration unit. I'm getting involved.
I mean, we've just seen you on a Saturday night. That happened to the podcast,
It did, actually.
when you kill Coolio.
I was stood on a sofa killing Coolio. Yeah, I remember that. Anyway, next.
Over to the world of film and TV, Ryan Gosling will perform the Barbie power ballad "I'm Just Ken" live at the Oscars.
I think that was inevitable, wasn't it?
That's probably going to win Song of the Year. That one, isn't it?
It's a good song. I like the bridge and the weird
Where it gets prog.
prog stuff. It's good. It's a good riff.
Do you know that Slash played guitar on it?
Yeah, and it's what's his name who did the whole thing, wasn't it? Mark
Mark
Ronson.
Ronson.
Okay, if you're not
that man knows how to make a hit.
if you're not getting
he does.
Slash out for the Oscars, then they've
Oh, he's got to get Slash out for the Oscars.
dressed as a Ken.
I'm sorry for prolonging this
imagine
news
with a pink
section.
top hat.
I forgot to send it to you on TikTok, but Slash in some European countries, when he goes back, he's not allowed to smoke on stage, so he's got a vape and he puts his vape pen in his guitar stand. It's so cute when you see him with a little fucking elf bar sticking out of his guitar. He just cannot not have nicotine. A man to my own heart.
Yeah. Why that man never set his hair on fire, I'll never know.
I don't know either, mate. He wakes up, smokes, goes to bed with a fag in his mouth.
He must have just doused his hair in so much water before he went on stage. It's like,
oh, it's asbestos.
I think his guitar tech has a fire extinguisher on standby.
Yeah. It's so fucking funny when he's got his little elf bar, though. I wonder what flavour he had. Tobacco, probably.
gunpowder.
Anyway, next. Gunpowder. That's good. That's a joke, that Stig. That's a good joke. Next.
I don't know if anyone cares anymore, but Lucasfilm has confirmed the working title for the Rey film is now New Jedi Order, as opposed to Episode X: A New Beginning, which was incorrect.
Yeah, because it's not.
I thought they said they were done with that saga.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's what they're saying. I think by calling it New Jedi Order, they're trying to make it a different saga.
She still says she's called Rey Skywalker, though.
She's called herself Rey Skywalker.
I know.
When she's really, spoiler alert, Rey Palpatine.
What's your name? I'm Rey Skywalker. Fuck off.
See, the annoying thing is, I really like Daisy Ridley as Rey, so I hope that they actually give her a good... that someone does some decent writing for her, because I think she's a good actress, and Rey is a good character. They just fucking ruined her with the writing.
Oh, Rey's diddly.
Just Rey.
I like her too.
So they just said, I'm just Rey. That would have, like...
I'm just Rey.
No, you're going to do that.
That makes sense for the character and the actual story they told, to just say, I'm
way better.
I'm just Rey.
I've got no name.
Yeah.
Just Rey. I'm just Rey.
Rey Skywalker was just, ugh. That whole film.
Let's not get into it, because we could rant for another 20 minutes on this.
Star Wars in review, coming soon. Not.
Could do.
We could do next year, actually. Pencil that in, Stig. Pencil that in for next year.
I really don't want to watch Attack of the Clones again.
You love sand, though.
I've not seen it since it came out.
I am. Next.
We had our first look at Superman, which is now not Superman Legacy, which was the original title. And we had a look at the logo and his chest. Did you like the new logo? Have you seen it?
No, I hadn't seen it.
It's Kingdom Come logo.
Oh, is it? Oh, yeah, bang into that then. Good idea. Yeah, they're just calling it Superman, aren't they?
Yeah, just change it from Superman Legacy to Superman.
That's a good refresh. It's it's done. It's not
Start all over again.
Kingdom Come's a great story as well, so yeah, do it.
We've also this week Wendell Pierce has been hired as Perry White.
Has he? Oh, that makes
he'd be good as that.
Yeah, so if you don't know him, he's from
good.
The Wire. That's what he's most famous for, I think.
And in Suits as well, isn't that?
Yeah. Shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I like Perry as a character as well, and I like that. Unlike J. Jonah Jameson, the other editor of a different paper, Perry's quite cool-headed.
Yeah, but he's also he's always been portrayed as kind of forgettable. Like there's not been anyone who's like
not in the
Perry.
books.
No. I mean in the films. No one's played Perry like how I would have read him in the comics. Whereas like
it was Fishburne, wasn't it? Last one.
Yeah, and it's like it's like the way they did J. Jonah Jameson in like the Raimi Spider-Man films, and that's become the iconic performance.
Yeah.
Which is based on the cartoon performance from the 90s, and it just works so well. And there's been a consistent performance of Jameson since.
Yeah, that's true. It is very, very true. Next.
Denis Villeneuve has confirmed his next 4 films in the works. I'm sure there'll be more on this later. But
hold on to your hat here, Oodles. You're going to like these.
Has he? Okay.
First up, apparently, is Dune Messiah.
Okay.
Rendezvous with Rama.
Let's go, baby.
Cleopatra.
Oh, yes. Coming out.
And hopefully this will have a name change. Secret Project.
No, I like it.
So he's not said in what order these are coming. So from what I've read, the Rendezvous with Rama script is done, but I think if Dune Part 2 is as successful as the first one, Warner Brothers will probably give him a really big stack of cash to do Dune Messiah first.
Finish that off.
The Cleopatra one I'm really interested in because he's not done a historical epic before.
Such a good story, Cleopatra, as well. She was like the first queen of Egypt, and just everything about that story. And again,
but also like a subjugator because she was Greek, she's not Egyptian and stuff like that.
Macedonian, as I think Greek. Yeah,
going to look incredible. After watching Dune 2, more on that later.
that man
Cleopatra was a proper rags to riches story as well, and the fact that she was like, she separated church from state, or whatever the church was, the paganism from state and stuff. She very, very, and again, guys, not a mythical character. A lot of people think Cleopatra didn't exist.
Real person,
real woman, real strong.
Remember last year when Netflix put that documentary out and the internet caught fire for a while?
Gal Gadot's meant to be doing a Cleopatra film. I'm pretty sure she is.
Oh, fucking hope not.
I'm pretty sure she is.
I would like her to just disappear at this point.
That's not going to be subtle. It's not going to get the nuance of clips. She's just going to be stood there looking sexy.
I'm up for that.
It's not what historians want. Next.
Speaking of Netflix, they are expected to raise their subscription prices again this year, according to analysts. It only just went up in October.
I get ready for 1st of April, Britain, because there's going to be a lot going up. Whew. After tax year. Fucking hell. I've seen that. I've seen the stuff that my industry's going to be doing after 1st of April as well. I'm just like, whoa. Everything's going... Check your phone bills, guys. They're going up.
Well, this is an uplifting part of the conversation. Next.
Boo.
Everything's going up. Your rent, your mortgages, it's going up. Next. Podcasts are going up.
Over to the world of tech. And a wedding went viral in February after a bride's reaction to the groom's creepy Apple Vision Pro. As reported by SF Games, a software engineer wore the $3,500 dollars headset in the post-ceremony wedding photos on February
to his wedding?
Yeah, yes. He recorded the whole experience.
What?
When's the annulment?
If you go into the document Oodles, there's a picture there of him like holding his hands up like that, like picking something on his Vision Pro, and the bride's looking at him like she wants to stab him.
Is he putting on a fake virtual ring?
Different bride.
Oh, I can see it.
That's what it is. I bet he's got like a different bride on his screen, hasn't he? He's got like
Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah.
I'm marrying Scarlett Johansson. I tell you what, he doesn't deserve her, because I bet.
I mean,
the father of the bride just stood there with his arms crossed, going, "The fucking prick."
I mean, she's quoted in SFGate, and he sounds like a cunt. Like,
tech, bro.
I try not to look, because it's a little creepy, it's a little uncanny. He probably asked me 2 or 3 times. I was like, no, we have to wait, and then I turn around 1 minute and he has it on. So she obviously wanted to get like a load of nice photos without him having this fucking headset on.
Well, did you see the setting as well? There were these stunning mountains in the background. She was absolutely beautiful, and he's there like a fucking.
And it was not good
knobhead.
enough for him.
He's also got a fucking terrible little mustache. But yeah, God Almighty, like that. What
Long
a dick!
little
Just take some fucking nice photos.
Yeah.
Candy, he's gonna be single soon, mate.
I get that. I'd be all right with that. That's fine, as long as he's willing to pay his way.
As long as he's got RGB lights on
Yeah,
it.
exactly. So give me some. Just give us. I don't need a boyfriend. I need a financial partner.
Financial advisor.
Yeah.
Not partner.
They can advise me. I just
Someone who
won't
can do your
take it.
taxes for you.
Someone tried to set up a caption competition. The couple that came through was one saying, "Well, he's looking to the future. She'll be looking for a good attorney." And the one after that was,
Mate.
he's trying to check how much the wedding cost.
Mate, you can get an annulment on first week, or some first few months or something like that. A free
Something
annulment.
like that.
Yeah.
I'd be filing away.
This isn't
He's a loser.
a tech story, but it is a wedding video I saw on TikTok, which I thought was really funny. I'm not sure if I forwarded this on to anyone, but they were getting married outside, and you know the part of the speech was like, if anyone has any, anyone has any reason to not, these two.
Oh, you mean the moo?
Yeah, and then all of a sudden this cow from behind like moos at that exact point. And then everyone obviously laughing. She goes, "Okay, let's get back into it." And she goes, "If anybody's got any objections," and the cow moos again. It's like brilliant. It's like the timing is perfect.
This is what I've told you all.
That
you
cow knows shit.
You need to be wary of cows. They're smarter than you think. And
Yeah.
they're evil creatures. They know what that cow knew what it was.
It comes on at the perfect time and moves twice. Perfect. It's brilliant.
Next.
Well, speaking of events, we're over to the Weird World Web, and this is a cracker.
There's only one thing in there.
Yeah, hence the intro from our pod host. Police have been called to a Willy Wonka event after refunds were demanded. This was held in Glasgow as part of the Willy Wonka experience, and a lot of angry families were demanding refunds. The event was advertised as a journey filled with wondrous creations and enchanting surprises at every turn. But that's not what they got. They pretty much had little more than an abandoned empty warehouse. It was cancelled by the organisers, House of Illuminati, midway through the Saturday following complaints. They have said all full refunds will be given to everyone who bought tickets. And then there's just a load of bump about what people felt when they went there. And there's some great photos, which obviously we can't show on the pod. But
I've been scrambling all week to try and get the unknown to come on our podcast.
Yes, that known character from the Willy Wonka story.
What's that?
The unknown.
It's the unknown. It's
the unknown.
It's the kids. No, sells it. It's so.
I've been
good.
trying to. There's so many people online claiming to be the unknown.
No, I've seen a picture of her. It's
a girl, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a picture of her like behind the scenes in the costume. Yeah.
I've been scrambling all week to try and get the unknown to come on in character.
Because they got the meth lab Oompa Loompa. She's been doing interviews.
Yeah, I love her.
Oh, yeah, bless her. She's a really body lass, and like you look at her like in that photo, she looks so miserable.
and the guy that played Willy Wonka, he said that they were given 15 pages of AI-generated gibberish, and he said the first red flag was when they casted him as Wonka.
He's not even in a Wonka suit. He's just got like a general ringmaster suit on.
And he's like
Children
18.
were given one jelly bean and a quarter cup of Tesco's own brand lemonade.
not even chocolate.
I know there's something in me, and I'm tightest man on planet. There's something in me that wishes I was there and I've got the photos to prove it. That would be worth £35.
That's the
to be part of
stupid
history.
thing is because it's gone so viral. So many people are going, I wish they'd have just kept it up. They probably would have got people.
I'd have gone. That'd been,
people would have
made
gone.
a fucking fortune.
Just take pictures with the unknown, meth lab Oompa Loompa.
Have you heard
They got
the
a
latest as
fortune.
well? Netflix scrambling to do a documentary on it as well. Absolutely scrambling.
It's just a fun viral thing. It'll move on next week.
Absolutely howling about it.
There's also a nightclub in Pontefract that are now doing the Wonka Experience themed night next week. You'll miss it by the time you listen to this, but they've got. It looks exactly the fucking same.
They've just gone and got the same rainbow arch and
but it's in a pub, a club. So it's like 50p a shot.
The fucking ridiculous thing is as well, like this. The thing was advertised with like AI art, like making it look like a proper Wonka Wonderland kind of thing.
All the writing in this, it's just full of spelling errors on the artwork and the posters. Yeah.
It makes no sense.
And then they printed those pictures out and put them on the wall, didn't they?
It makes me laugh because it reminds me of this podcast. From the outside, it looks really good logos, really fancy. Then they start listening, and it's like fucking Wonka Experiences. We are the Wonka Experience.
We're just a bag of squirrels with microphones. That's all we are.
It's so fucking funny. It's one of my favourite stories of all time. Ever. I think it's up there.
I'm actually, I was
so happy it happened in Glasgow because they're fucking. When Glaswegians get angry, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
With it going viral though, I was slightly disappointed because I knew that you'd find out about it, and I thought this is a great story to have just sprung on you on the podcast, like because you don't look at the news, right? It would have been you'd be like, "What's this?"
Someone asked me about this the other day, like, you don't look at the news. I went, no, I do look at the news, but I don't read our news channel, what you guys are going to bring forward, and I don't listen to any tech or gaming news at all. Like, I know what's happening in politics, I know what's happening in the world, but I don't know what's happening with fucking smell-o-vision or whatever candy's on about. I don't care. It's so funny, but the Wonka, you could not escape that. That is incredible. It's gone as far as Australia and stuff like that,
the whole world, yeah.
I'm thinking stag do material, that. I want to go as the unknown.
Someone did
just a group of unknowns. Just everyone dresses the unknown.
I sent it to Gadget on TikTok. Someone did a drag show and they were like, there's a mirror on stage and like, what's that? It's the unknown. And obviously the drag queen like pops out as the unknown and then whips the unknown costume off.
Oh, so it's already... Sorry, I love it. The unknown is going to be the Halloween costume. It's going to be the Halloween costume of the year.
Well, the unknown and Sadun Balloon, that's a couple's costume right there.
Yeah, that's definite. I'm so happy it's happening. I feel bad for kiddies, but fuck him.
The worst thing is, for me, is that one picture of a purple ball pool just sat in the middle of this industrial warehouse on its own. Nothing around it. It's just this shitty little ball pool. It's like, it's so sad.
I love the whole thing. It's been, if you don't know what this is, if you are listening to this and you've just been on the moon for the last week, just search in Glasgow Wonka Experience and just have a whale of a time. It's just amazing.
I feel sorry for those parents, man. Can you imagine the kids just being so disappointed?
Oh yeah, it's disappointed, but
mate,
it's been hilarious for everyone else.
I wouldn't have booked that not knowing what it was in the first place anyway. I'm a bit more savvier than that.
It's the thing that it was so shit that they called the police. That's the bit that really sells
criminally
it
awful.
Have you seen the videos of the bouncers outside? And she's like, get my fucking refund. And he's like, no, get away, you're not coming in. And he's like, I've paid £25 for this. And it's so fucking funny. Oh, it's so good. I love it. This is not the Wonka Experience podcast. It's just an experience in itself. Let's get on with the main show. Stig, what you been doing?
Well, this week I watched a film.
No.
I also watched said film.
It's by the author is Frank Herbert. That's his name, isn't it?
Yeah, Frank Herbert. Yep.
It's called Dune. Now tell me about this. It was made in 1984.
Yep.
And it was directed by David Lynch.
David Lynch's finest.
And I'm not joking. I actually watched this film this weekend.
Oh, you poor fucker.
Why?
But I'm not talking about that because me and Gadget will get onto the main film. I just wanted to, people keep telling me that this is really, some people keep saying it's good, and I know it's not good. It's not good.
It is good.
Oh.
It's good.
It's not good.
It's
not good. It's fucking horrendous.
What about the Roblox fighting bit at the beginning? Bad. When they're fighting like Roblox.
I do like that.
Why is there really a rat taped to a cat at one point?
Why not?
Being milked. What's that all about?
Lovely rat.
Even for an 80s film, the visuals are awful. The film just moves I'm not even here to talk about that film. It's
just remember, whenever you like have a nightmare thinking back to that film, the amount of cocaine David Lynch was taking.
Mate, that was on the craft table. You know what I mean? That's services. It was just cocaine. Look at Patrick Stewart. He's
the whole of
in
Dune. The whole of Dune Part 2 is crammed into 35 minutes in this film.
It really is. And there's a little bit of a montage as well in that film.
Yeah, it's all over the place. The ending is complete bullshit and made up. Oh man, just awful.
But you watched another film called Dune 2, the sequel to David Lynch's Dune.
Well, I'll let us get onto that with Gadget. The other film I actually did watch, which has been a big film recently. I watched Anatomy of a Fall. So this is a film by Justine Triet. It's been up for a lot of awards. It's up for Best Oscar Picture nomination. I think Sandra Huller might have a Best Actress nominee as well. And I am in the minority with this one because I didn't really like it.
I've some of my mates said they don't like it either, but some of them also said they loved it.
Praising it so much, and the trailer looks really great. And I was just expecting something a bit more cinematic and a bit more of a thriller.
I've seen it split
or
people
drama.
I've seen the discourse on it. I'm
like
still waiting.
The performances are absolutely incredible. Like Huller and the child actor Macho Granier, it's like they're phenomenal. They're absolutely amazing. Also, the dog is fantastic too.
Great dog.
There's a scene with the dog in this. Where it's just some of the best dog acting you'll ever see. But
it's better than the dog in Prey, because that was a very good dog.
Yeah,
that was a good dog.
Like this is actual. It's
what about the good dog in I Am Legend? That was a good dog.
No, genuinely, like this dog actually, the way it acts, it's like it's proper acting. It's really weird.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the dog from Homeward Bound, the two dogs and a cat.
It's not just running around and barking and doing like sitting and doing stuff. Like it's doing like proper acting. It's weird.
Neighbours. That's a good dog.
That's a fucking reference and a half.
Sorry.
My problem with this is I just didn't find it gripping at all. It dragged. I was losing my
worst thing about these films, these Oscar films.
It was testing my patience at times, and despite I really like the French court system. If anyone's ever watched, if you watch this film and you know about the French court system, it's very different to how you see it in American and British films. They just have like slagging matches and like they can all interrupt each other and kind of like go back and forth and stuff. It's a lot of fun, but they're not cinematic at all. It's like I'm sat there watching a recreation or a documentary. I was like, there's nothing. I love a courtroom film, but I want it to be at least cinematic and make me, like pull me in. And this just doesn't. This is up there with Tar for me, which was all about the performances, and everything else just didn't connect with me whatsoever. It's 2.5 hours long.
I'm still going to watch it. I'm still going to watch it because
that's long for a courtroldom thing.
I'm still going to watch it because some of my friends say it's good, but some say it's bad as well. I need to find my own conclusion on it.
Yeah, like I don't mind long films. I've talked about this before. If this is a reason for it to be long, then fine. But I just didn't feel like this needed to be that long. It's not a bad film. It's a 3-star film, but it isn't Best Picture worthy for me. And I realise that I actually am in the minority. If I go on my letterbox and look at reviews and people like that, it's all 4 to 5 stars, and for me, it's not. It's a level below. So I'm actually kind of disappointed in myself for not seeing what others see in it.
You just don't get it. That's what people usually say, don't they?
Yeah, but it isn't that at all, because there's loads of films that are like that I love that people don't like. But I didn't like it.
Yeah,
that much.
It's all right, pal. You seem really disappointed in yourself.
I'm more disappointed in because everyone was bigging it up and saying how great it was, and I was like,
maybe they're being pretentious.
I nearly fell asleep multiple times, and because it's half English and it's either in French or English, it's like you can't. When you're falling asleep sometimes,
and you miss a full sentence.
Yeah, but if it's in English, you still pick it up, don't you?
Yeah.
If it's in a foreign language, I've missed everything there because I have no idea what they've said.
What did they say? They say fair. What does that mean?
Happens to me on the pod a lot.
I am.
I'm
just a bit disappointed, really, because I thought from the get-go, and I saw the trailer for it, I thought it looked fantastic. and then everyone was saying it's fantastic, and it's been nominated for awards, and it just hasn't hit for me at all.
So the other film you watched this week, was that all right?
Yeah, I'll let Gadget take the lead on this because he's.
Yeah, fine. Well, I tell you, before I get into that, I'll just start my section because I do have a quick update one that I want to talk about. I finished Cyberpunk this week.
Excellent. Next. Joking.
No, and I know we've talked about it, so I just want to talk about this briefly because I have a diverting opinion from Biggie and Oodles on it. I didn't like the ending. I didn't like the last third of the main game. I found that the pacing was really poor, and because V's not a particularly sympathetic character and Johnny Silverhand's a prick throughout it, you get to the end of that game and I just like, is that it? I was really, really let down by it because like the gameplay is great and they fixed all the problems with it and like 90% of the game is fun, but you get to that last section, it just absolutely shit the bed for me. Mm. It's really frustrating when you put 70 hours into a game and it
70
fumbles at the end. Yeah, I did all the fucking side shit.
Yeah, I did too.
But also as well, given that the ending for Phantom Liberty, well, the ending I got for it,
it's
so
better than the main ending. I
good.
agree. It's way better.
Yeah, like I would have. The ending that I got, I'm not going to spoil it for people who haven't played Phantom Liberty, but there's two endings to it. One is a bit more bombastic, one is a bit quieter. I got the quieter ending, and that would have been the perfect way to end the game, ending. The full game. Yeah, because it's not a good or a bad ending. It's just an ending, and that's the right ending for V and Johnny.
It's
Silverhand.
oblique, isn't it? And it's like, yeah, it's just one of those like, yeah.
It's but it resolves a lot of the plot lines of Phantom Liberty, and I wish it was that kind of ending for the main game because I got what is classed as the good canon ending. And it was still fucking miserable. And I know no one gets a happy ending in Night City, but it's just like all the work that you put in, all the work that I put in through the game to get to that ending, and I felt shortchanged by it because I either wanted a really bad ending for V or I wanted the really ideal good ending for V. But what you got was just something in the middle that just didn't work.
Yeah,
I think that's all the endings, isn't it? None of them are particularly great or particularly bad. Although I got the other ending of Fanny Lives to You, and that was depressing.
It's weird, isn't it? Because like CD Projekt, like the ending to Witcher 3, for instance, the final ending was such a happy, like uplifting ending.
Well, you know, not even necessarily because you could get a bad ending with that, and this goes on.
No,
to
I mean,
the last thing I mean
after Blood and Wine.
Oh, after Blood and Wine, yeah. I hate the fact that it's a thing in a lot of modern RPGs where you've gone through the 70 hours worth of game. And then you're given a conversation point where you have to pick your ending path at the very end of the game. I fucking hate it. Does me head in because it's just like, so nothing I've done up to this point affects anything. I have a choice of 4 possible endings. I just have to pick one, follow that path, get a cutscene.
Yeah.
Like, it's especially frustrating from CDPR because The Witcher 3 had a dynamic ending where the events leading up to it and the events during the process of the ending would affect.
You made that ending, yeah.
It would affect the final cutscene.
I think there's 7 endings to that game.
Like pre-DLC.
How did you guys... Like did you guys finish Fanny Lives before you did the ending of the main game?
No.
Yeah. No. Which also makes it harder to fucking drag in because the ending to Fanny Lives is so fucking good.
I did it all the way around.
It's an interesting one because you could... Because there's a point in the DLC and in the main game that if you go and continue from a certain point, like Gadget says, then you'll kind of signpost it to say, from this point onwards... You can't go back and do anything else. It's kind of... You could get a weird alternate version of the endings by picking the wrong path at the wrong time. Do you know what I mean? I don't think they signposted that particularly well.
Agreed.
No, and that annoys me. With Phantom Liberty, it worked better because you basically got a binary choice.
Yeah.
But it was a binary choice that worked because it's like you're basically given a choice of who do I support here?
Yeah.
And it works in that because you've had the entire run of the DLC and you've gotten to know both sides of the argument that you're following in different ways. So that works for me. But yeah, just like that last thing where you're supposed to be this emotional scene, you sat on a rooftop with Johnny Silverhand, like contemplating your own mortality. And then he says, well, you've got to make a choice. And then he gives you 4 choice and dialogue things. Like, I don't want to fucking make a choice. Fucking take what I've done and put that into the ending.
All I can say is, with that, listeners, you will never hear about Cyberpunk again.
until Biggie brings it up in the news. But yes, no.
Well, saying that, I've started. No,
No, you have not.
The main thing I've done this week, and the main thing that Stig's done this week, I've seen a film. I've seen. Well, basically, I'm not allowed to watch. I just can't allow myself to watch films anymore because I have seen the perfect film, and this is not hyperbole. I have seen a film that is a cast and a director and writing and production that is every single person involved in this film is on top of their game.
Die Hard.
In a way that I don't see how anybody could improve any further, because we have both seen Dune Part 2.
You're clearly
I saw Dune
Die Hard.
1984, so I don't know what you're talking about.
And it is spectacular.
Oh, it's so fucking good.
It is incredible. Candy will still hate it, but it's incredible. So it's obviously it's the second half of Frank Herbert's Dune. Unlike the 1984 film, as Stig said, it's more than 35 minutes long. No, it's not a montage. There is no montaging. Dune has always been considered the unfilmable film, mostly because of David Lynch, but also because it's such a big book with a lot of complicated things going on. It has to be a 5-hour film, and that's what we've got here. If you haven't seen Dune Part 1, you're going to know fucking nothing. It doesn't do a previously on Dune kind of thing, and it doesn't do any hand-holding to remind you of what happened in the previous film. It just starts about 6 hours after the first film finishes.
Cool.
It continues Paul Atreides. He's now in the desert with the Fremen. The Harkonnens have taken over Arrakis, and now the Emperor's getting a bit concerned about things.
Imagine never even hearing about this world, and you've just said all those words, then and they're like, what? Tell them about the Gom Jabbar.
That does appear in this one, which is weird because it doesn't appear a second time.
No,
in the
it
book.
doesn't.
And it is the escalation point of the story, as Paul Atreides and Lady Jessica kind of get more intertwined with the Fremen and start to kind of become the leaders of them. They kind of usurp them effectively, and then you get some kind of nice whack and great big battle at the end. There's some Harkonnen bullshit, and it's so good. I don't even want to describe it all because I don't want to spoil anything, because the whole film is the ending of the book. Don't want to kind of spoil too much of what happens, but it is sumptuous. It is one of the most beautiful films I've ever seen. There is not a single frame that is not perfect in it. Hans Zimmer has outdone himself on the score. My God, the music is incredible.
Yeah.
Everyone is on top form. The obviously the returning cast. Less Jason Momoa is in here because Duncan Idaho died in the first film.
I'm joking.
In the first film,
yeah. The cinematography in this is just absolutely stunning. Greg Fraser is just on another level. This is some of the best looking scenery and the best looking film I've ever seen. He also worked on the creator Rogue One and the Batman, so that's the kind of level, and Dune Part 1 obviously, but that's the kind of level of cinematography you're getting. But my God, it just looks amazing. There are so many shots in this film that you like, I could have that as my desktop background. No, I'll have this as my desktop. No, I'll have this as my it's just beautiful.
Wait for it to upload on the wallpaper engine, mate.
Yeah, actually, I'll have a look. Actually, it's everyone is just fantastic in it as well. And the good thing about this is that Villeneuve obviously has Dune Messiah and the other books to kind of to be able to tell Paul's story. He knows where the story's going, so he's actually changed things up slightly in this book, knowing this is where the story's going. So I can actually play around with this character a little bit.
He's fixed. Denis Villeneuve come out and said basically that a lot of people saw Paul Atreides in the original book as a hero character, which is why he wrote Messiah, because he's very much
terrorist.
Not. Less so, it's more anti-hero. Like, he's not intrinsically a bad person.
No, he's
but
not.
He does very bad things.
Before we go on, I nearly spoiled something massive. Have you read the books, Stig?
I've read the first and Dune Messiah. I've not read.
Right, I was going to give I was literally just about to do a spoiler for fourth book in. I'm like, no, I better not. I better not.
The what this has allowed Denny to do is he's changed a few of the characters in subtle but important ways. So I'll tell this who does this. This isn't really a spoiler for how the book goes, but this is just basically one of the changes he's made. Chani has a voice.
Really?
Now, not the voice.
Not the Bene Gesserit voice.
Not the voice. But she has a voice now, and she stands up to Paul rather than just follows him. Yeah. So what he's taken that element of like how she is in Dune Messiah into this one to kind of explain to the audience, no, don't just fucking blindly follow Paul.
Don't fancy him. Yeah, don't just.
Which is they're all still fancy.
Yeah, they're all still fancying it.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of people not getting that Paul is not the good guy in this.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But speaking of bad guys, Austin Butler as Fade Routher is incredible.
Was he
so
Fade?
good. Yeah.
He's Fade, yeah. And he's gone full fucking
like
bald,
the rest of the
no eyebrows and all that.
Black teeth.
Yeah.
He's got they spend a lot more time introducing him than the book does, than the 1984 film does. Like he's literally at one point during this film, we just transported to their home world, and we spend like 20 minutes with them and Fade Routher,
right.
getting to know why this character is.
Is there plenty of weird baths happening?
Sort like kind of feared.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's weird baths. There's no heart plug.
I think our listeners also want to know,
some floating people
did you get the popcorn bucket?
Yeah.
No, you can't get that in the UK. That's an American-only thing.
They missed the trick there.
The time that you spend with the Harkonnens is greater in this one. You get a lot more understanding of kind of the way they work as a family, but also the way they work as kind of a society. There's a lot more shots of the Harkonnen homeworld.
Is the Emperor in this one?
Yes, Christopher Walken.
Played by Christopher Walken.
Oh, watch up my ass.
And
bring it up.
Played very well by Christopher Walken, actually. It's one of his more understated performances.
Like, I didn't really understand Matt Commode saying, "Oh, Christopher Walken's being Christopher Walken." I was like, he wasn't at all. Like, he was toned down a lot.
He was quite. He had that quiet intimidation. There's that bit like right at the end where he's like stood in front of Paul, and he's trying to muster up that intimidation thing that he's got, and Paul's obviously not afraid of him.
Yeah.
Okay.
But and everyone's great. Florence Pugh's brilliant. I think that he expands on the Bene Gesserit a lot more in this.
Yeah.
To make
in a really helpful way.
Which
like,
would have been in the next book,
Leia,
technically, wouldn't it?
Yeah, you get Leia Seydoux in there for a couple of scenes, and she does really well with what she is just playing Leia Seydoux, but
she's so ugly as well.
Oh, she's fucking hideous.
Foul.
I can't stand looking at the woman.
Yeah, every woman in this film just
gross. Every man in that film. Ugh.
Oh yeah.
I'd have a go on the Baron, to be honest. I don't give a fuck.
You get more time with like Gurney Halleck.
Gurney, I love Gurney.
So like Josh Brolin gets to cook a bit, and fucking Javier Bardem has still got his role. Is obviously
he was good in the last one for the
5
minutes he was in.
Yeah, well, he's in this a lot, and he's like Paul's permanent hype man, and he's really fucking good in it. He plays a zealot really well.
Yeah. You want someone to hype you up, Stilgar, that's your man.
Yeah, Stilgar's your man, yeah.
But I just want to shout out Timothy Chalamet. He's fucking outstanding in this.
I think this is the first time I've seen Timothy Chalamet like act. Like every time I've seen him in other things, he's just being Timothy Chalamet.
Like whimsical and kind of it's me. Like,
he's good. He's good in that. He's good in that. What's that drama one with that bad bloke in it? I forgot. It don't matter.
Oh, Call Me By Your Name.
Call Me By Your Name. That's it.
He's
good in that.
In smaller indie roles, he's very different, but in the bigger roles he's taken on, he's very whimsical and kind of charming and stuff. But in this, he commands the screen, and you can believe that.
Go on, sorry. People.
I was going to say.
Go on.
I'm just trying to say that like this is a lad who he looks young, he's a skinny little lad, but the way that he acts in this, it's like you can fully believe that he has the control of the people. Like it.
Yeah, when he fully declares himself Paul Mawadi.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
But yeah, I was.
There's a power that you didn't expect.
I was going to say that people are touting him to be Robin to Robert Pattinson's Batman. You know.
I don't think he should.
He's bigger than that.
He's
bigger
than that now. This has sealed him in as a leading man.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because everyone's saying he's brilliant in this. Everyone's also saying that Austin Butler's good. I didn't know we were playing Fade though. Everyone's saying he's brilliant.
Also, well, the brilliant thing about the way Austin Butler's playing Fade he's being more Skarsgård than any other Skarsgård.
Really?
He's basically doing a Stellan impression.
Does he now talk like him in real life?
He still talks like Elvis in real life. But
not to spoil the film, but the character starts to model and blend himself into the Baron more, doesn't he? Like, in the way that it goes on.
Every time we mention him, he's looking behind me. He's right. He's up there on the No More Nails show.
Not him. Yeah.
Sting.
Yeah, honestly, absolutely incredible. This is, to me, what you had with Star Wars, then you got with Lord of the Rings, and now you're getting it with Dune. You know, every 20 to 30 years, you just get this.
You get a true
I don't know why I can't pull myself to go to the cinema to watch it. I don't know what's stopping me.
You need to. Like, you don't even if you can't see it in IMAX.
I didn't see it in IMAX. It was so great.
I think it's just because I know the story and I'm not like compelled to rush off. Like I can't be spoiled on it. You know what I mean?
So the things that highlight with seeing it at the cinema, any of the moments with the sandworms, like there is that moment Stig with the 3 sandworms, and I grin like a fucking idiot when that appeared. Any of the moments with the sandworms, even just the shots of the desert look incredible on a cinema screen.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
That kind of climactic fight between Fade and Paul.
Oh yeah.
And Denny did a director's choice that I fucking
hear
love.
A pin drop.
The build up. And then they fight, and there's no music. There's just the sound of them breathing and their knives clattering off each other. And it's so good, and it's so tense. And it goes on. It's one of those fights that goes on like a little bit longer than you would expect it to, because you would expect like the hero to get the really good, the quick kill in, and it goes on just a little bit longer, and it's so tense and it's so well done.
I'm just lazy. That's all.
I need to rewatch it. I enjoyed it first time around, but I must rewatch it.
Yeah, it's. Denis Villeneuve is now. This is the film that puts him up there with like your fucking Scorsese's and shit. Like, this is him as a top level director. I can't see him faltering on anything, if I'm honest. Like, look, it's perfect.
I trust him with Rama, and he's probably the only visionary director I could trust with Rama, because he gets spectacle.
There's only one slight complaint I have with the film.
I've got one as well,
and it's
not enough grass in it.
It's a complaint that was brought up with the first film and comes into it, and it's just a modern movie making technique. I don't like it. Still too much mumbly dialogue, and especially when they're wearing masks. There is just some dialogue that you just.
Do you think that's
hear.
because, like, I don't know about anyone else, but when I watch films and TV shows at home, I have subtitles on regardless. Do you think we're used to that now?
I do too.
And cinemas don't.
I don't have subtitles on, so I just.
Oh, do you not?
No, because I don't need them. But then I end up looking at the subtitles. It's just distracting, so I don't bother.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just one of those things. It's become a modern thing within cinema when they're having these kind of tense and quiet moments. The problem is, like, I don't mind them having kind of like quiet dialogue.
I've seen it on some.
But when you can see their lips moving,
yeah.
So because they spend so much time in still suits or in kind of like environment suits or whatever, or with like kind of wraps over their face, some conversations get lost. And annoyingly, it's some of the important conversations that like because I took Pip with us and she really didn't enjoy the film. Like, she loved the first one, but she didn't like this one because it's more of a talkie, and it's like it's.
Now you want me to go to the cinema?
I do want you to go to the cinema.
But this has got more action than the first one.
It does, but it's also like
there's
less.
No build-up, is there? There's no
people
walking, storming down corridors.
No, and you spend like the first kind of half of the film is mostly in the desert, and a lot of like the Paul and the Fremen stuff. So I get why she didn't like it, and I'm sad that she didn't like it. But
fuck her
opinion. But. Yeah, that was just the one thing that put me off, is just the quieter dialogue moments when they're wearing.
What's your
masks.
one
I wish
thing?
they just would take the mask off.
That you didn't like.
He
didn't get a popcorn bucket. Oh,
it's too much slow motion.
Right. Yeah.
It's a lot.
It's not. It's not Zack Snyder.
Not Zack Snyder bad, but if Zack Snyder was doing, if you criticize, like, Zack Snyder does it too much, but there are moments when Zack Snyder does it that you go, oh yeah, that's fair. You can use slow motion there.
Yeah.
If he gets criticised for doing loud music and slow motion, and we say that's a bit shit, then Villeneuve should be criticised for it as well. It still looks stunning, but sometimes so does Zack Snyder films. But if Zack Snyder's has a slow motion with the camera panning around and some chanting over the top. You can't then go, well...
No, but Zack Snyder does it with Leonard Cohen in the background.
No, but it doesn't... But he does... The problem with Zack Snyder is he does it too much.
Yes.
Villeneuve doesn't overdo it, but there are moments where you just think, I don't really think you needed to do slow motion there. It's...
Right. You boys have took over. You've took over with the Dune special.
Well, there is one more slight complaint. This is not directly at the film. This is the way the film has been received.
Okay.
Me and Stig have been back and forth on this last couple of days, and I'm just going to give this to you, Oodles, now because I know it's going to piss you off. And then you can get to yours and Candy's thing.
Biggest.
People aren't appreciating that this influenced a lot of sci-fi.
Really?
I have a review in front of me right now from a website called The Insightful
Please
Nerd,
don't tell me
which
they've
is titled
copied Star Wars.
Dune Part 2 review. Our generation Star
Fuck
Wars.
off.
And so I've seen so many TikToks of people going, God, Dune's just ripping off Star Wars.
I saw someone over here saying, why is Dune copying Tremors?
I do get what I could understand if someone said our generation Star Wars in terms of films.
They don't mean it like that.
Yeah. No.
So it is our generation Star Wars. Like I said, it's a generational film. Spoiler alert, there's going to be Dune Messiah. This leads into Dune Messiah.
Yeah, there is a casting choice in it that leads into Dune Messiah.
So this is going to be this kind of this decade's Lord of the Rings, like Lord of the Rings was that Star Wars.
Is it making as much money as is it as popular?
200 million.
It's doing all right then.
Yep.
Yeah. Also, actually, a little factoid you'll like, Oodles. This film cost $60 million less to make than Ant-Man Quantumania.
That was a shite film anyway.
Yeah, and this is an all-timer.
Yeah. And my last point is, I'm glad that this has been delayed and come out now, because this going head to head with Oppenheimer would have been quite sad, because
that would have been rough.
That means that two great films, one of them would have had to miss out on stuff like cinematography and music and sound and direction. So I'm quite happy that it's not in the conversation for this year's Oscars, and it'll be next year's.
It might be in this year's Biggies.
It might well be.
But yes, speaking of Biggies, Biggie, you've been up to this week. Ooh. You beautiful, beautiful man.
To come to me. I've been playing God of War still, enjoying that. Where am I at that at the minute? I am running around with Brock and Freya.
The beginning then?
Makes any sense to you? No.
I'm joking.
It's about a third of the way in, I think.
Yeah, must be. So I'm up to that point. Yeah, enjoying it. It's okay. It's very more of the same. But thanks to Angry Kurt, I got reminded to go and watch True Detective Season 4.
Okay, yeah.
And binge watched that. It's called It's called True Detective Night Country. And it's part of the anthology crime drama series, normally created by Nick Pizzolatto. But this was actually directed by Issa Lopez, and he produced it for the first time. And it has almost a career revival of Our Lady Jodie Foster, who hasn't done a TV series since 1975.
She's been doing a few films though lately.
Oh, it's a handful of films. But one might say enough to warrant a career.
She shares the lead with
She's all right in
Callie.
Man. She's all right.
Yeah, she shares the co-lead with Carly Reese, who is apparently was a boxer. I've never heard of her before, but she is going toe-to-toe with Jodie Foster.
She a knockout,
I thought they were both... Hey. But I thought they're both fantastic as detectives and state trooper, respectively. And yeah, basically, they have to investigate the disappearance of 8 scientists or researchers from a Tassal research station, which is basically set in Alaska.
I've been there.
The full-on... No, I haven't.
No, I have.
Have you?
Yes.
How'd you get there? You must have got a bit lost.
No, it was an excursion. I didn't go on my own. I didn't walk.
Killed a lot of researchers.
Shush!
He's on his way to Shadow Moses.
That's genuinely why I went to Alaska, mate. But then I found out that the Fox Archipelago is not a real place.
No, it's really not.
I went to Nome as well, which is one of the most northern towns on the planet. Anyway, carry on.
Thank you. It's set in a fictional town of Ennis, Alaska, and follows that investigation into the disappearance of 8 men, which may also have been linked to a open case from many years before. I got massive The Thing, and you remember that series Fortitude?
Yeah.
Is
the aliens
sort of
in
vibes from this? Not quite. But there's definitely, because of the indigenous, I think I'm going to get this word wrong. Is it Inupiat?
Right? Inupiat. Yeah, they're like Inuits.
So there's kind of like this ghostly vibe of folklore in the background as well. And if you've watched any of the True Detective seasons, then you kind of get an idea of where it might go.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
They did on season 1. It was the man, the king in yellow, wasn't it? If you remember.
Yeah.
Really good.
But I really like this. I thought it was excellent from start to finish. I'm going to watch
it.
There are a few plot issues that may disappoint you, but overall, especially down to the performances of the 2 leads and the rest of the cast as well. But yeah, I just thought it was brilliant. And then if you do watch it, go on to Reddit and read the comments from people that watched it who, in my opinion, and I'm sorry to use the cliche, didn't get it, because it's shocking some of the criticism that they bring up when these things are perfectly explained if you actually watch the show properly and take it in. But yeah, it's on the levels of season 2 it's getting slated, but I really liked it. I thought it was really good. And the setting was filmed in Iceland and Alaska, and it looked fucking cold. As temperatures went down to like minus 23 Celsius, which the crew obviously had to suffer, but it feels that way. It's got a great cast as well. On top of that, you have John Hawkes, Christopher Eccleston, Fiona Shaw, Finn Bennett, and Anna Lamb are all really good throughout. The to and fro between Foster and Reese, they have this sort of history which is explained throughout the show, so that they sort of have this problem with each other. Jodie Foster's character is almost, she describes it as a bit like a Karen, and she's almost unlikable, but you kind of root for her as well. And they've all got issues in the past as well, so there's lots of things to pick up and follow.
You bloody love a crime show, don't you? You bloody love them.
I do.
Oh.
And I think this is up there. I think it's really good, and I agree with Kurt. He felt the same, I believe. There's a couple of things that might be disappointing, but overall I thought it was fantastic.
I loved season 1 so much, and the other seasons were all right. Nothing's terrible, but they never lived up to it. That first season's amazing. Like, one of the best seasons of television I've ever watched. But yeah, awesome.
Oh, and Kurt mentioned in the Discord the opening credits as well. It uses Billie Eilish's "Bury a Friend" theme.
I've never heard that song, but does it go, "Bury a friend"?
You'll know it when you've heard it.
Bury a friend tonight.
Not quite, but
they all whisper them
almost.
Kind of people, don't they? I'm so emo.
But yeah, the opening credits are really good, and that ghostly sort of folklore spirit thing in the background does make you start to doubt a few things throughout the show. So I thought it was really well done.
Cool.
But yeah, gruesome, quite gruesome at times as well.
Candy, my sweet Petuna, what have you been up to this week?
Well, I started just a small game, little part of a trilogy, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it.
Sounds like some weeb shit.
Yeah, well, it is, but the best kind of weeb shit. So obviously most people know that this is the second part of the remake.
What?
Final
I didn't play the
Fantasy
first
VII trilogy.
I'm joking, I did.
Well, funny you should mention that, because if you haven't played the first, you're going to need to play it. They say that you can play it without having played the first. You can't.
You can't.
You're not going to know what's happening.
I mean, spoiler alert as well, listeners. I've also been playing this.
So it drops you right into the action. It takes you to the final scene of remake, and after a very, very brief recap, you're thrown straight into it. You playing a slightly surprising character. If you know anything about the original game. I'm not going to. It's bloody good.
How far are you in?
You play as Kojima, right?
What's that?
You play as Kojima.
That's right. Oh, you said don't spoil it.
Sorry. I knew you'd be in it.
I'm about 5 hours in. I've just got to Dune
area.
So,
okay.
Stop saying things I can hear.
I know,
Hell,
I know.
I just hear the music in the back of my head whenever someone mentions Dune.
I mean, the music is insane.
The music's incredible.
Well, because I'll interrupt quite quickly on that, because the foremost got to me. I've restarted Final Fantasy VII Remake this weekend.
You'll love it.
And I sent this to Candy the other day, which I assume was what you're going to bring up there, Candy. That I hadn't appreciated when I first played it, but the way the music is done in the remake, because everyone knows the battle music, dun 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 dun, and I hadn't realized this at the time until someone pointed out, and I was replaying the opening sequence. It teases you, it edges you ever
It
so
doesn't
slightly,
do it until the bit
before
like, the train, doesn't it?
Yeah, so like you'll go into a couple of earlier fights, you get dun 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 da da da, and then it goes off into some other melody. And then just at the point where you get a big fight where you're like being kind of swarmed by about 10 guys and there's like a mini boss in there, you get the da 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 da.
Best bit about that game,
like the full piece of
you
music.
won't have got to that bit yet.
But
there's a bit where you're waiting for that iconic boss theme music, and then a boss turns up, it's just you're like, it's here, it's finally here.
Sorry to interrupt. It was something that came up, and it's just.
She is right though. The music,
I was just like,
it's unreal.
This is amazing.
It's all remastered versions of the original themes.
It's beyond what you could possibly dream of, I think, in terms of the music. Like you're there humming along to it because you know all the music, everyone does. But it's just got such an extra depth to it, and like you said, the teasing of the themes that you all know.
It keeps doing that, doesn't it?
Has
with
a twist
thing.
to it.
Yeah.
It's just stunningly beautiful. Like the scenery as well. When you first get to Calm, it's such a juxtaposition to being in Midgar. Like this game, the scenery is completely different. You couldn't imagine.
Yeah.
It's open. It's not overbearing. It's you're out in the world. There's a world map. There's finally a world map. I think there was a lot of people, myself included, that were worried it would be quite a linear experience. Because, how much of one game can you get into one disc?
It's not linear.
It's not linear at all. And that takes me on to the side quests already. I am somewhat overwhelmed with the things that you can do. I was very, very tempted to start to mainline the story because...
Don't.
Well, I'm not. There's some things that I'll get to that are taxing me already. But I think what they're doing with the story, whether you've played the original or whether you haven't, I find myself still trying to not look in comment sections because I don't want to see spoilers. Like I think we all know what happens in the original game. Like I don't know whether they're going to stick to it. I don't know whether they're going to do this beat, this beat, this beat, this beat. Are you going to be able to change this? Is this bit going to happen? I think it will reel you in just even if you've played it because you just don't know.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's sticking to the original in terms of the locations and everything, in terms of what you have to do when
characters,
so far,
for instance.
Yeah.
So did you say you've done 5 hours?
About 5-6 hours.
I've done 20, so my turn. So, Candy, do not look at any comment sections. This game is very different. Yeah. After the initial, I know what's happening, I know where I'm going next. Do not look at the comment. This is very different. Biggie, you're very well acquainted with Final Fantasy VII. This is not Final Fantasy VII remastered or remade. It is an alternative telling. It's different. Very, very fucking different. Not in terms of gameplay, in terms of story.
That was almost very, very briefly just what put me off from even starting the remake. Was just
the remake's almost identical up until the end, isn't it, Candy?
Yeah, I think the things you want there to
it
be,
is there.
They are there.
Yeah.
Like the locations, the music, you can check it off. It's like I could not wait to see this, and here it is in all its PS5 glory. Mm. You won't be disappointed, or in terms of as far as I've got.
Yeah, like for instance, like where Candy is, I'm now onto the second continent, and this is the weirdest Japanese role-playing game I've ever played. This is Yakuza on acid. So,
just when you in that bit before you reach the second continent, is the music still as good? Please tell me the music is still as good.
Yes.
That's my favorite theme in the whole game.
Yeah, but again, this is such a weird because of the side missions, because of every town in it is not just one frame town that you're running around on a 2D. It's a fucking built up cityscape. Do you know what I mean? Like the Dune city itself is not just those two screens. It's a full city that looks like a BioShock type city, like a cyber, what do they call that? Steampunk style.
But not to mention,
city.
like almost every building you can see, you can go in, and it's a shop. Or
you can go in, yeah.
You know, it's completely
huge.
open.
And it does. All the side missions are completely optional, but if you don't do them, you're not getting these badass summons. You're not getting this materia that you want. You're not getting these weapons you want. So you're missing out on that. You can technically steam through this game and just do the story because it's not difficult. It's not a difficult game. It's just you're making your life easier if you do the sides. Chocobos, for instance, they're brilliant, and you can dress them up. You can't argue with that. But again, so I'm not going to touch on it much, but because Candy's got this one, but I'm now like 20 hours in, and the story's taken such a 360 from what I'm used to, and what I know that game to be. I get why it's called Rebirth. And I get why the last one was called Remake. They are remaking the story. They are rebirthing what we know, the characters we know. There's such a... this is a sequel to the original game. I know that sounds weird, doesn't it?
Well, that's what we kind of guessed at after playing Remake, didn't we?
Yeah.
But I think obviously it's confirmed.
This is a sequel to the original game. So it's not that you need to just play Remake first. You also need to play Final Fantasy VII 1997 first.
See, that's what puts me off.
Because it's a remake to that.
Like the idea of
you're just going to be like,
just
what?
remade this game with fancy new graphics and told the same story. I might have played it, but then it's just like, well, now I don't get what everyone.
It is genuinely a sequel. And this is I did it on Remake because there are characters in this that know that the events of the 1997 game happened. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what's fucked up about it. That people know what's going off. People know that this is a different game, a different time. I don't know. It's hard to explain without spoiling it. But
my only issue with that is I've got a close friend. She never played the original, so she honestly doesn't know.
It's gonna fuck her up at some bits.
Well, yeah, but at the same time, I would quite like her to just experience what we experienced the first time round.
That's what I just said. I wouldn't.
Retelling.
I would have preferred just a retelling, so I kind of understand.
Yeah.
I have no interest in playing the original. I've tried, and just not for me at all.
Yeah, it's a very dull JRPG to play at this point in life. It wasn't when it came out; it was amazing. But now it's very trite and stock and very simple. But yeah, with this game, it is open world, but it's split into chapters, and there's at least two full chapters that are the sequel to the game, and then it goes back to. It's so fucking weird. The only way to explain it is you have to have played it all. Gadget, you even have to have vaguely passing knowledge of Dirge of Cerberus and Crisis Core.
Oh, I'll be fine then.
Yeah, as long as you've got vague knowledge of what those stories told. Because there's things that crop up and people that crop... It's just... This is the fan service game of all fan service games. And it's... we aren't even talking about the gameplay. It's the battle system's the best battle system they've ever produced.
I mean, the gameplay it's not expanded on much than the previous one. There's a couple of little extra things.
It doesn't need to, does it? You've got your synergy moves that mean so all the way through this game you're building relationships with the party that you've got, and the synergy moves boost that relationship with your party. The more happy your party, I don't even know if you know this yet, Candy, but the more happy the party members are with you, the better you guys will fight as a team. So it technically makes you pick your friends.
Yeah.
That's quite an interesting concept. I quite like to see that going forward. Choices you make, when it's your so and so didn't like that choice, but it just literally has no.
Yeah, this makes an impact. Every so often, even Candy's 5 hours in, they're asking Cloud, who you play as mainly. Spoiler alert, mainly. You play as Cloud, and they ask him questions, and that directly it'll say your relationship with this person's changed. And then you look and they're like, oh, fucking pissed off at me. So they're not going to be as effective in battle with you. But it is super cool. They didn't do that in Remake. They've done it in Rebirth because it's such a big and more expansive game. And I've got to the point now where I've got relationships with, like, this game's so smart and so big that whoever you pick in your party, the cutscenes change. So, like, let's say I've got Barrett, the gun arm guy, with me. He's like, oh, that fucking Shinra, kicking off. But if you've got someone else with him, a bit more subtle, a bit like Aerith, she's like, oh, I suppose we could think of a different solution to it. And it makes a massive difference. Like, this could be replayed. Do you know what I mean? It's so smart. And again, it's a Japanese role play. There's some weird bits in it that make you think, ugh. But, I mean, there's a lot of boobs.
I guess this explains why it's taken this long to come out as well, because they've obviously changed up a lot.
It makes so much sense. They've done so much. They've done so much. But that synergy system that they've inputted, like Stig says, is genuinely one of the most interesting things they've ever created. It makes your story unique. You'll have your favourites, Candy. I guarantee you've probably got Red 13.
Yes, of course I have.
This is the dog.
He's cat.
I haven't got him, so I barely speak to him, and he barely talks to me, and he just growls at me.
No, you got to love Red. He's such a good boy.
Yeah, exactly.
But he's like, going back to gameplay, every single character is so different to play. Like, whoever you put in your party. Like, I normally, like, if I have Red...
You can play as anyone, can't you?
If I have Red in my party, I will always play with Red. Because he's so much fun, like... But every character is so different. It feels like Barrett feels clunky and heavy. Red spinning all over the place. Yeah, I
have enjoyed the screenshots of Red riding a chocobo.
Yeah, I thought that was a meme, and then I saw it happen.
No, he rides that chocobo. And it is a thing with the relationships as well, with the synergy thing. If you're friends with Red, he gets better at riding chocobos.
Oh,
cool.
He learns how to adapt better to human-style things.
And
Queen's
Blood is what I was going to say. Queen's Blood is what I was moving on to. So there's a game that is a card game, kind of like Gwent. I guess you would got elements of Gwent.
Gadget. This Queen's Blood, the card game that's in this, is better than Triple Triad.
It's bloody great. It's so much.
It's better than Triple Triad.
Oh,
it's literally.
I don't want to know that.
It's literally one of the best. It's better than Gwent, I think.
I think it's better than Gwent.
Man.
It's kind of got elements of both Triple Triad and Gwent, I think.
It's got a bit of that game I played that time for Laugh, that PC game, the clicky game, the lane game where you're in lanes, and you've got, what's it called? The lane game, Gadget. What people play, clicky
run games.
Lanes. You're going up.
Run.
You're going through lanes to try and kill someone's base. What's it called?
Oh, a fucking MOBA.
MOBA. It's got a bit of a MOBA fucking to a card game to it.
Clicky. You couldn't give any fucking better description than that, you dickhead.
I don't know what it's called.
It's a PC game. How many fucking PC games are out there? Go clicky. You've got to use a fucking mouse for them.
Yeah, it's got a bit of that to it because you've got to like control your lanes, haven't you?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, so much time alone with that. That's a game in itself.
Mate, I go around the whole world buying cards and trading cards with people.
Yeah,
it's way better than Blitzball's a fucking joke.
I love Blitzball.
Fucking hated Blitzball.
Guess what? If you don't like Blitzball. There is a football game in this, but Candy, you might. No, it's not really that much of a spoiler.
I haven't got to it yet.
You play as Red 13 in this football game. It's dog soccer.
So, I mean, the question that I want to know, Oodles, because obviously I know Candy's not there yet. Have you reached the gold saucer yet?
That's where I am now.
Is the the music? That's
it. But then it goes wow 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 wow. It's some fucking guitar and stuff.
Are you basically just going to be stuck there gambling for the rest of time?
Yes, because it's got a Queen's Blood tournament there. I'm
joining
joining the Queen's Blood tournament.
Has it still got that chocobo race? Because I really like that in the gold saucer. In the
original. You can race chocobos from more or less the beginning, can't you? Candy,
yeah, and on the subject of chocobos, that would be...
Yeah, they say chocobos.
In this one they do, but in 16 they say chocobo. I feel like chocobo
I know.
It rolls off the tongue.
I think it's just an accent
English people say chocobo.
Because in 15 they call them chocobos.
I like chocobo. Yeah. Anyway, that leads me on to my one small gripe with the game is wrangling chocobos.
It's hard.
It was hard in the original game.
Yeah, it's hard, and there's lots of sneaking.
You don't have to breed them in this. It's just that I have to fucking get them.
But you have to. I might be wrong because I've only had to do it once. But you have to wrangle the local chocobo, don't you, to be able to use it?
Yes, in every map.
Yeah, not a fan of that. Don't like it.
The second one's even harder than the first.
Yeah, I'm on the second one now. Fucking thing.
It took me about 4 goes.
I've done it twice and then I fucked it off.
The game's really smart. If you struggle too many times, it says, would you like to skip this mini game?
Yes. Do you get the chocobo anyway?
Yes.
Oh, thank God.
Yes.
Okay, well, in that case, all's forgiven.
Yeah. All the mini games you can skip if you really need to, if you're struggling, it lets you. You can even skip battles if you're failing on it, if you really want to.
Oh, that's interesting.
Don't panic. But yeah, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is great. I got it for £35, me. I'm buzzing.
Oh, nice.
That's the same price as going to the Wonka experience.
It is. But not as many memes.
You got anything else, Candy?
No.
You got anything else? Or have you just been doing that?
that?
I've got one more thing to add. Great show started, and Stig's watched it as well. Shogun. Oh my God. I don't know your impression on it, Stig, but I fucking adored these first 2 episodes of Shogun.
This is the new show for everyone to get onto because it's mint.
Is it just the 2
Isn't
episodes
it incredible?
out so
Thank
far?
you.
2 episodes out.
Oh, okay, so I've watched one already. I thought there was a whole series out.
Yeah, it just looks.
No.
Oh, man, it's.
The money they've pumped into
just the
this.
attention to detail. The actors are all great. The way it looks is just insane.
If you don't know what it is, Shogun is an American historical drama. It's a limited series as well. That's what they've said. It's not carrying on too much. Created by Rachel Kondo and Justin Marks. It's based on, Gadget might remember, 1975 novel of the same name by James Clavell. A very, very famous novel.
Oh, yeah.
It's based.
I think I might have
It's
read
based on. It's William Adams in history who went to Japan.
Yeah.
But what do they call him in this? Blackthorn.
John Blackthorn, is it? Is it John?
Yeah, but they call him Anjin-san, which is pilot. But it's based on William Adams, the actual historical guy that went to Japan, English guy, the first Englishman in Japan. And guess what? Japan's not just full of barbarians. There's so much political intrigue. It's so delicious.
I've learned new things from this 2 episodes already. I had no idea that
Me
the
too,
Portuguese
mate.
and Spanish had such a foothold and like kind of trade stuff going on with Japan.
They hid them at Magellan Pass from the rest of the world.
Japan.
So Magellan Pass is going underneath Argentina to get to the Pacific. They told everyone that was the edge
they
of the
kind
world.
of told Japan that there's only us over there.
It's only us.
Until the English
There
arrived.
was a full fucking... Yeah.
Yeah, so I just looked up. Yeah, so John Blackthorne was in the novel of Shogun. Yeah, so
In the novel, yeah.
I recognize the name, but because I always have that association more to William Adams, who was the real person that John Blackthorne was based on. But
Yes.
William Adams has been done so like the fucking main character in Neo is based on William
That's him.
Adams.
That's Billy. Oh, Billy Adams.
Billy Adams.
Yeah.
Although in that game he's Welsh rather than English, which is weird.
Yeah, it's very strange. But yeah, Stig hit the nail on the head. The attention to detail in this show is second to none. And don't worry, Game of Thrones fans, it's very Game of Thrones and there is titties in it. So don't panic.
Yeah, but it's not like over reliance like Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
the first series, just like look at all this sex and look at all this violence to get the audience in, and then they kind of calmed it down. There is like a little bit in the
It's
first
subtle, this one, isn't it?
episode and it is violent, but man, it's good.
I tell you what, Lord Toranaga, the main character, he is so fucking great. So, I mean, the backdrop to this is the Shogun died, which has happened in real life, and then the 4 or 5 clans.
No, five.
They form like they form like a quasi government, waiting for the Shogun's son to come of age, and all they're doing is backstabbing each other, trying to get Lord Toranaga of Kanto to like back down, and because the main backdrop as well is the fact that Christianity has hit Japan, the Catholicism, and the English turn up, and guess what? The English are
Bastards.
Protestants. So there's that as well. So you've got the Shinto religion of Japan. You've got Catholicism waging war with Protestants in Japan. It's incredible. And it's 2 episodes in.
Yeah, only 2 episodes so far.
It's every Tuesday, I think, they come out, doesn't they?
I'm not sure, to be honest. I just know that the first 2 came out there, and I watched it, but I'll take your word on it.
So is this the Shogun period? So is this like 17th century Japan? So this would be like in the
1670s, 16 something.
Yeah, so this is like the
25.
Reconstruction period, like after the civil wars.
Before Edo.
Yeah, but this is like after the Sengoku, where it was all civil wars.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
shit. Right, okay, yeah.
Just before the Edo period, after the fighting with China and stuff like that, before the Mongolians, you know what I mean? It's in between a massive moment in Japanese history, like the biggest moment.
Well, because Sengoku was when the feudal system collapsed, and they tried a bit of kind of somewhat
but then
democracy,
emperors, didn't they? Then,
but then the emperors came out of it after that.
Mm-hmm,
Okay, right.
Yeah,
okay,
it's really smart because it respects its its historical accuracy.
Yeah, which is something that I would hope for a show like this, because God knows we've seen enough The Last Samurais to put out there.
Oh, this is. Let me just put this across. This is not White Savior.
That's what I'm worried about.
Blackthorn is the worst. He's not having a good time, is he, Stick? He ain't saving nobody.
So the way they do it as well in this is all the Japanese actors are all in Japanese. So it's Japanese with subtitles. And then Spanish, Portuguese, and English are all spoken in English, but with accents. So you kind of know...
Yeah,
you kind of know when they're meant to be speaking Portuguese to each other, it's just in English. But the Portuguese and the Spanish
makes it easier to digest.
Characters will have that kind of Spanish style accent. So it makes it a lot easier, because if they were trying to fly between 4 different stuff,
it'd just be too much.
It just made me realise how awesome the Japanese language is. Fucking love it. It's
such a good language.
So is Blackthorn like the focus of the show, or is he just there?
No, it's Lord Toranaga's the focus, I'd say. Blackthorn's the first person you see.
Yeah,
and he's always there in the backdrop. But I think it's Lord Toranaga that's the head. Who plays him? It's that guy from Sunshine, isn't it?
Ken Watanabe, isn't it?
No.
Ken Watanabe.
No.
No, it's not Ken Watanabe. It's not Watanabe.
It's the guy who plays Scorpion in Mortal Kombat.
That's him.
He's in John Wick 4 and Bullet Train as well. He's great.
Yeah, he's phenomenal in this. He just exudes Lord Samurai. Do you know what I mean? He's just everyone.
I'm looking at a picture of him now. Like he looks fucking good as a samurai.
Yeah. But the women in this as well, they're really powerful women as well. And it's not the period of Japan where there's a lot of segregation and women were second-class citizens. It was when everyone who had a voice... If you were, for instance, because the Portuguese are coming to town, if you could speak Portuguese, you're already higher class than anyone else.
Because you're useful.
As well as Japanese. Because you're useful. And that's what Blackthorn comes in. He's bilingual. He can speak Dutch, Portuguese, English. He's also happens to be called Anjin-san, which is pilot. He's a fantastic naval pilot. By the way, he found the Magellan Pass and got to Japan from, do you know what I mean? From Holland.
Yeah.
Pretty good in them days. Pretty fucking good. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's nice to have a Game of Thrones-y style show based on real things. Don't expect any zombies turning up, guys. No. Not happening.
Just a like sub headline I've seen here, because obviously just searching Shogun and trying to get actors' names. Disney Shogun puts stereotypes to the sword, say the Japanese. After days of yellowface, Hollywood is praised for doing the country justice at last with a big budget remake of the 1980 series.
Yeah, the 1980 series is terrible. It's just all white people pretending to be Japanese. It's disgusting. But yeah. It's got. So, you really loved it as well, Stig.
Yep. Well,
he does that thing as well because it's weekly. It leaves it on the cliffhanger, doesn't it?
Well, on this,
Yeah, I am, mate. It's on Disney Plus. It's the FX, so it's on Disney Star, I think.
Yeah,
it's called. So fucking good. I'm really buzzing from it. But that is what we've been up to this week.
Busy week.
We've done so much.
Lots of great shit came out this week.
Yeah, some really good shit.
Yeah. What have our listeners been up to, if anything?
Well, first of all, we need to have a talk about last week, because Kieran Corrigan, our beloved golden retriever of a follower, has written in, "Hello chums, great so he's talking about last week's episode 174. Great episode as per, but on the subject of the run of depressing sci-fi that some of you have been having for a few weeks now, I finally got around to I Have No Mouth But I Must Scream by Harlan Ellison. And Stig, you can no longer complain about me experiencing depressing sci-fi, because this is the most depressing sci-fi.
It's probably one of the... Yeah, definitely.
It's a short story, but boy, does it go places. The premise is that a supercomputer AI consciousness named Am, so AM, pronounce the word Am, has wiped out all life on Earth, barring 5 humans, kept prisoner in the depths of the supercomputer itself. At the time the story starts, they've been in prison for over 100 years, and aside from the effects of a century of constant physical and mental torture, Am has manipulated the very being of each of the 5 humans kept there. One standout being a good-looking genius of a scientist named Benny, who's been transformed into some kind of hideous monkey man with a comically huge dick.
I don't know how that feels.
At a point towards the end of the story, Am explains his feelings towards humans. Quote, "Hate. Let me tell you how much I've come to hate you since I began to live. There are 387.44 million miles of printed circuits and wafer-thin layers that fill my complex. If the word hate was engraved on each nanoangstrom of those hundreds of millions of miles, it would not equal 1/1000th of the hate I feel for humans at this micro-instant. For you. Hate. Hate." End quote. And that's what I felt when I went to Tesco earlier. Fucking humans. Anyway, short, bleak, and fabulously written. Highly recommended. Don't try and play the old school point and click game on the iPad though, because it's buggy as fuck and doesn't work. Much love, Kieran. Yeah, it's one of the most depressing stories that's ever been written, but it's also one of the most incredible things that's ever been written. I read it.
I liked it as well. I liked it. I mean,
liked is a strong word.
No, I genuinely did. I liked it. I got a lot from it. I got a lot of feelings. The feelings don't always have to be good feelings, but I got a lot. I felt.
The old school PC point and click game, like, don't play it on the iPad, but it is worth playing because it's fabulously obtuse. But yeah, it's not something you come out of feeling good. But onto the stuff they've been doing this week. First of all, King Hagrid has said, "I've continued a bit on Dragon Quest XI and watched Law and Order SVU with Beck all week. While she's been at work, I've introduced my lad to Lord of the Rings. So far, we've done Fellowship and Towers Extended, but Return of the King is going to have to wait. Oh, and I went to the cinema on Friday for what can only be described as a cinematic masterpiece. Of course, I'm talking about the unsequelizable Dune 2, but I'm sure by this point in the pod, you will have covered all the bases."
We haven't talked about it this week.
Yeah, barely a mention. Super Natty Cat has said, "This week I finished Resident Evil 4 Remake. I bought it about 6 weeks ago and finally finished it. Thoroughly enjoyed all the cheese and the terrible one-liners from Leon. I started watching Shogun on Disney Plus, the remake, not the original from the 80s.
No one should watch that.
No one should. Although, you should all look at the poster for it, because it's fucking hilarious.
There are actually scenes in the original one where you can see the sellotape on people's eyes.
Yeah.
I'm not joking.
It's bad.
I am not joking.
Slow to start, but it's getting good. The acting is on point, and that chap from John Wick is in it, and he just breathes out respect and honour just by the way he stands, talks, and holds himself. Love it.
I think it starts quite fast, actually, not slow.
Yeah, Super Natty Cat lives at a different pace to the rest of us.
True.
Also been playing with some of you lot on Helldivers, except I call it Muff Divers and replace all the things that were muff-related work. Like the brambles that slow you down, pubes. The bugs,
she does.
They ain't bugs, they're muff crabs.
Crabs.
There's muff holes. Anyway, you get it.
She does, because I've played it with her. We're part of the sisterhood. I have been on shore leave this week.
You two fucking running around screaming was hilarious. Me and Joe from Hallmark of Greatness were just doing the objective.
Oh, take it so seriously, you two.
We were just doing the objective, and you two are fucking dropping bombs on each other.
The career Helldivers, them two. I'm just like, fucking, let's go. I'm gonna get back on that next week. I'll probably have Final Fantasy finished next week. It makes you sick, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Get a job.
I've got one full time.
Go to it then. Stop playing games. Next up, Mr. Podcast himself, Planty. Consuming media is exhausting. 100 Things forced me to watch Jeepers Creepers this week. Twice.
Sorry for voting for it.
No major spoilers here unless you consider nonce nepotism and a monster as scary as Wishmaster to be a spoiler.
I remember being very, very effective when I first watched that film.
It was never effective.
Probably not now.
Yeah.
I've always been scared of someone chasing me in a car. Don't know why.
We managed 40 minutes of Spaceman before Rachel made me turn it off because it was, quote, stupid. Yet she managed every minute of Pearl. Never has a film thought it was so funny and clever whilst refusing for 90 minutes to actually get to the fireworks factory.
Oh, I fucking love Pearl.
You guys loved Pearl, and then I watched it. And we're like,
Oh, Pearl. No, it was all right. I did love
I
it.
loved it. Although, have you seen the screenshots for Spaceman? I thought it was I thought it was an adaptation of that Andy Weir book. Oh shit, what was it called?
What, Hail
The
Mary?
Martian.
Hail Mary, yeah.
No. They are doing an adaptation
Is
of
this Spaceman the Adam Sandler Spaceman?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yes.
it's based on Spaceman of Bohemia by Yaroslav Kafka.
Is it?
Yeah. Which is a really good book.
Oh. So I've got to watch an Adam Sandler film again.
Yeah, but it's not one that Adam Sandler's written, so it's like one of his good ones.
Oh, so it might be good, like the basketball film.
It has the potential.
Yeah.
A really good review, isn't it?
Reviews seem average.
Average at best. Is he like a spaceman in space? I'm a spaceman in space.
Unfortunately, it's not been written by
doing
any
that?
of the Safdies, so it's not like Uncut Jams.
I'm in space. What am I doing in space? Candy, stop hating me.
You know I'd watch it.
Get in the bottle. Get in the bottle, Cassius. Fucking pillock.
He goes on to say, I spent most of my week, about 14 hours, listening to an Irvin Welsh book that I managed to miss 10 years ago. A decent ride. The story of Juice Terry, a taxi driver and part-time porn star, and his adventures during Hurricane Ballbag. A real event. Look it up, younger listeners. I love Irvin Welsh novels, and I even moved to Edinburgh. Even I moved to Edinburgh
To
and
check
read the
Halloween.
lot. Maybe shouldn't have took a copy of Porno on the bus with me though.
It's a great book.
This is easily his most disgusting, depraved, and filthiest book, and I fucking loved it. Grave robbing, Molotov cocktails, pissing in old people's drip bags, ruining a funeral, and necrophilia make this fantastically unfilmable, unless you fancy pooling the Patreon money. Anyway, better go. I've got to dig up my dad's corpse and have a look at his dick.
He's got Irving Welsh is fantastic, but it's very difficult to read sometimes.
No, he's always difficult to read.
He writes in Scottish, doesn't he?
It's not that he writes in Scottish that it's difficult to read. Have you read Filth? Fucking hell.
Yes, I have.
Have you read Trade Spotting?
Yeah. Oh, I have. I absolutely have. I'd rather have it read out to me by a Scottish man. It's very difficult to read. But yeah.
Xenos has said, this week I've been mostly playing more Elden Ring. Difficult to tell you exactly where I am right now because we've got way too many different threads going on in parallel which need finishing up. I think we could be in Lane Dell, but we're putting that off to deal with other things.
Oh.
Aside from that, I've also started on Lost Epoch. This is an action RPG like Diablo, which is I've mostly been ignoring because it's advertised and wasn't doing anything to get my attention until a YouTuber I follow who's really into these and very picky about them posted a video calling it one of the best he's ever played. I'll probably have more details on that next week, but I'm not far enough right now that I can make a proper assessment of it. It seems pretty...
Xenos, play one game at a time.
It seems pretty solid so far, though like a lot of recent games it's been plagued with server overloading, except this one actually has a fully functional offline mode from the start, so you can play even when the servers are falling over. Offline characters are separate from online ones though, so your progress isn't shared. I've seen Lost Epoch being shown around. It keeps popping up on my Steam. They've obviously put some marketing budget behind it.
I've seen it as well on TikTok. It looks good. And anything that plays like Diablo that isn't Diablo is a win in my book.
Yeah, and there's like fucking 20 classes or something like that.
Yeah, I've seen it. But yeah, play one game at a time, pal. Come on. Get Baldur's Gate finished. Fuck's sake.
That man's put so much time into Baldur's Gate and not reached the end of it. He's just edging himself constantly.
He is edging. He's like, no. He's just going for it.
Last up as usual, Best Boy Angry Kurt. This week I watched Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1 after getting up to the bit where the film ends in the book.
It's great.
Barely remembered anything from the film, which made me doubt whether I'd actually seen it. I enjoyed it though and thought it was a good decision to split the final book into 2 films.
It's great.
Biggie, pay attention on this one. I also started a new game called Classified France 44.
Yeah, I played the demo.
It's an XCOM style game
homeland.
set up in the run up to D-Day. I've been enjoying it quite a bit. Some cool systems like a morality system, which means that when you shoot at enemies, even if you don't hit them, their morale decreases. When it hits 0, it results in them missing a turn, and this can happen to you as well. I like it because it means that even those 0% chance shots have some meaning. The Overwatch system is also neat, and when the enemy runs through your Overwatch cone, you can decide not to shoot and wait for the next enemy to come within the cone. I'd highly recommend it for fans of the genre. My only complaint would be the graphics look a bit dated. It looks very PS3. I've no idea why it's current gen only.
Yeah, I liked it. I liked the demo.
That does sound interesting.
Does it?
Is a demo running? I'll download that.
It's on Steam. I played it on the Lappy. But
I won't touch it.
I don't know if there's a demo anywhere else.
It's only £35 on Steam as well.
Gadget, you're playing Final Fantasy Remake.
I'm also playing Like a Dragon as well.
Quest.
So just give me
you can't play those two games.
And Helldivers and Armored Core. Just give me a fucking chance.
Dragon Quest.
Dragon Quest is on the back burner for now.
How do you guys do it? You all say, "Oh, you finish games so quick." No, because I just play one.
Playing 2 games.
2.
Dragon Quest is on the back burner for me because I know when I go back to it, it'll tell me where I am, so I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, you
do
between
a handheld and the TV. So one's on the handheld when I'm not got access to the TV.
I need to dust that Switch off. I haven't touched it in fucking a millennia.
You were playing it last week when you were playing the Vampire Survivors knockoff.
And Octopath Traveler. I forgot about that. I've got that, haven't I? Shit.
You haven't even let a film of dust get onto that thing. Stop your bullshitting.
No, it's dusty. I can see it now.
Then clean your house more.
No. I'm playing games.
I'm playing Final Fantasy. I'm just lusting after Cloud. Okay?
I was going to play a game. I was going to carry on playing
favourite.
Dead Space today, and then decided I can't be asked to move. I genuinely was laying on the sofa, couldn't be asked to get up and get the controller, so that's when I put Dune on.
I get like that. Whichever's closest to you. Like my phone can like control my telly as well. I've always got my phone on. I'm like, I'll just watch something shite. I'll just do that because I cannot be bothered to move. Day rest, mate. Day rest.
But yeah,
is that everything?
Yeah, that's the feedback.
Fantastic. As always, links to all our extracurricular activities are in the show notes and at modernescapism.co.uk. We announced last week we will be doing the Modern Escapism, which will be coming to you about April-ish.
Yes.
But again, if you want to jump in now and listen to our last thing we did, Kenny Potter, to me, a fantastic piece of work from start to finish, from 3 excellent hosts. Just absolutely astonishing. It was a great journey that's going to stand with me forever. But the X-Men are coming. But yeah, also next week, it is the biggest, the moment everyone... it's the biggest moment in Hollywood. We're not going to do it live this year due to technical difficulties.
And controversies. Biggie.
And controversies, yeah.
What?
But you're still going to get...
Keep getting your dick
You're
out.
going to get the same... Yeah, getting your dick out again.
Out now.
You're going to get the same biggest... You're going to get the same biggest experience because we still film it, but it's like when you watch the Emmys the night after because you're not
That
staying
bought new
up
dress
for
and
them stuff
everything.
like that. Yeah, it's going to be great. It's still going to be a fantastic show. So again, feedback next week. Rather than telling us what you have done, tell us what you think deserves an award at the Biggies because we're going to do the listeners award again. So that's going to be fun. We love the Biggies.
We do love the Biggies.
Yeah.
It's the most glittering night of the year.
Who knows? We might be able to get Walker McCoy out of prison to do it because he's been a naughty boy this year.
We told him not to go to Russia. He wouldn't listen.
Yeah, he went. But yeah, Biggies next week. One of the first events of the calendar year for us. If you're not, if you are a patron though, please get ready for Modern Escapism. And I'm so excited and pumped for it.
You still can't say it though. That's the problem. You're gonna have to keep saying it.
I can't say it. It's gonna be great. Please, for April-ish. We reckon April, don't we?
Well, yeah, because
we'll have recorded it before April.
Well, yeah, Biggie and I are doing Fast X this month, and then we'll start Modern Escapism next month.
In preparation, patrons, get that first film watched. The first Hugh Jackman film. Nothing else. Not Generation X or whatever everyone's saying. None of this other shite. Just X-Men. X-Men. Get that watched. But yeah, this is usually the end of the show. But before we get to the end of the show, it's that moment where I get stressed out, everyone gets stressed out, but everyone loves it. It's everyone's favourite segment. it's time for Candyland.
And now, what's up in Candyland?
You're not going to get stressed out on this one. This is a thinker. I've gone deep, I reckon, this week. Brace yourselves. Right, so you know when we all, like, in a couple of years, it won't be long, when we all live in the Oasis, we've got our headsets on, we live in, like, storage containers or whatever, small ones.
Okay.
Yep.
Do you think that...
In the stacks.
Yeah. Do you think that, like, if you had a next door neighbour that was the same age as you were born in the same hospital and everything, but you decided to, like, spend most of your time on, like, a Pandora planet or something, and they spent most of their time, like, 1920s Britain or something, or wartime Britain, do you think if you went round to each other's house for tea, you'd be, like, completely culturally different? Like, you'd have cultural differences that you just did not understand each other?
I get what you're saying.
I don't understand you. I talk to you once a week.
No,
I don't understand you.
There's a term for it as well, and it's something. It's something. It's cultural something. I can't remember the full term of it. It's not appropriation either.
It's cultural divergence.
It's cultural something where divergence. Thank you, Gadget. Where you adapt to whatever you're obsessing with or are surrounded by. So technically, Candy, you're absolutely on the money with that one, because you would be completely.
I reckon.
And this happens today now. It happens today now. Like if someone's into sci-fi novels, but someone's into romance novels, you're going to both have completely different perspectives on life in general. And that's just from a book. Never mind a real world or virtual world scenario where you're just completely enveloped from day one.
So, Candy, is this your way of trying to justify buying an Apple Vision Pro?
I'm not going to buy an Apple Vision Pro, no. As culturally different as I would like to be from you lot, no.
Oh,
but
you think you could be at work tattooing somebody, and you have your Vision Pro, and you have like a film off in the corner.
I was just going to say, would you tattoo someone virtually
Stencil.
like that?
Using a robot arm.
You'd have to use a robot arm, I guess, wouldn't you? Boy, I mean, yeah, but you'd be tattooing virtual skin though. So surely you wouldn't have to go through the pain and stuff of a natural tattoo, because it's all about your avatar, isn't it?
But what if you thought you were virtual skin, but it was a real human?
Yeah,
that'd be cool. Yeah, that'd be cool.
That'd be cool when you realise that's going.
Yeah,
and I'm sure you'd probably enjoy more, like, you know, being able to pick the colours for a tattoo just using like the colour wheel from Procreate.
Oh, that would be so much easier. And then not having to worry about someone getting fucking cellulitis or something afterwards. Oh, it'd be brilliant.
But the fact of the matter is, though, you are completely correct. It's genuinely what happens, and like. Again, thinking like when we watch Shogun, for instance, like the difference in culture completely. They're all humans. They're all the same species, but the difference is alien.
Yeah, you could have more in common with somebody the other side of the world.
Yes, this is why some people like up and leave and just emigrate, because it's just they're not culturally the same. Do you know what I mean? Some people travel for work, obviously, but some people just like, I'm not feeling this. I'm not feeling being German. I'm going to go to Singapore and be Singaporean. Do you know what I mean? It just happens.
When I worked on,
it's a real
when I worked on
phenomenon.
The cruise ships, I spent 6 months in the Caribbean for one whole contract. And when I came back to the UK on leave, I was like shell shocked.
Wildly different.
Yeah, it took me a while to just get back into the swing of things, because you just get so used to a certain way of life.
Jamaican
yeah,
to everyone.
Like Bob Marley, hire him on.
I had my dreadlocks done and everything. It's great.
I'm sure. Fucking. But yeah, that is a genuine
it's what happens
phenomenon.
when you work for Royal Caribbean, isn't it? You just slowly metamorphosize into Bob Marley.
He's just drinking white rum constantly, just going for it, having a great time.
just on the phone to your mother going, "No woman, no cry."
The thing that hit me was just the fast-paced nature of being back in the UK, because everything is so relaxed out in the Caribbean. There's no rush for anything.
Yeah, because you're all fucking pissed.
It's just
that's what I hate about going into the city. City makes me sick. I get overwhelmed. Everyone's like, vroom, vroom. When you go to London, especially fucking London makes me ill.
London's an aberration. London's a fucking capital city. It's awful.
Yeah, that's true. It's just so easily accessible as a capital city. Some people have never been to their own capital city, have they? In the country and stuff.
I'd rather go.
London's so easy to just get to.
I'd rather go to Bristol, and there's too. It's even more expensive in fucking Bristol than it is in London.
Yeah.
For a pint.
But yes, Candy, again, 2 weeks on trot. You've had a sound idea.
Last week was not a sound idea.
It was medium sound.
It wouldn't work.
It's better than some of them.
The maths on the actual podcast, it wouldn't work.
This is the end of the show. Thank you. If you're a patron, we'll see you in the green room in a second. For everyone else, bye.
Bye.
Bye.